Hi guys, Mr. Y here, obviously with a little tutorial on rhythm level 1. If you don't understand rhythms, this is probably a really good place to start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to write the rhythms in so that you're saying them correctly when you say them. Remember, you do have to say them out loud. And I'm going to show you how to clap and count them as we go through. Okay, so how about please rhythm level 1? It looks like this right here. I'm going to show you how to write everything in. Pause if you need to right now and get the sheet. Okay. You'll notice, first of all, about rhythm level 1, the very first line here, the time signature at the very beginning of the line is always going to be a time signature. Now, in this case, it's 4/4. Okay? The time signature is pretty easy to read, at least at first. Later on, it's going to get a little more complicated, but for right now, the only number you really have to worry about is the top number. The bottom number, you'll notice, is always going to be, for at least now, number 4. Okay, so don't worry about that. When we get to the later ones later on, I'll explain that later on. But for right now, the top number is the only one you need to worry about. And the top number just tells you simply how many beats there are in a measure. So it's really easy to figure out. You'll look and see that if in measure number 1 there, you do in fact have 4 beats in the measure. That's why the time signature is 4/4 here. And in this case, you've just got 4 quarter notes. So the counting here is really easy. For the first quarter note, of course, you're going to write in a 1 underneath it. That's the first beat of the measure. For the second beat of the measure, you're going to write in a number 2, because that's the second beat of the measure. It is only 1 beat long, though, so you just write the 2 all by itself. The third beat gets the 3, and the fourth beat gets the 4, of course. Not all that hard. When you clap and count this, of course, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Pretty hot cross buns right there, I'd say, right? Okay, when we get on to line number 2, or measure number 2, you can see that there's a half note first. Now remember, half notes get 2 counts. So what you're going to do for this one is when you write it in, you're going to write both the 1 and the 2 underneath that note, and you're going to tie it together with a little tie underneath that shows you those 2 counts are connected. Okay, and when you clap this, of course, you're going to do 1, 2. So you're going to clap on the beat 1, but then just hold your clap through to beat 2. And I like to move somehow. I like to do this myself. 1, 2. Or later on it'll be 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or anything that's a longer note than 1 beat. I like to move like that. Some elementary teachers do this. Some elementary teachers do this. But you do need to do something when you have more than 1 beat. If you just do 1, 2, that's a different thing than 1, 2. That could be a 1, 2 rest, which we'll show you later too. Okay, so you do need to make some kind of movement on that second beat to show that it's connected to the first beat. The rest of measure 2, we have 1, 2 in the first half note, of course. Then after that, you just have a quarter note, but it is the third beat of the measure. So underneath that quarter note, you're going to put a 3. And then under the last quarter note, of course, you're going to put a 4. So when we do the whole thing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy so far, right? Do 1 and 2 put together. Measure 1 and measure 2. 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not hard. Okay? Measure 3, you have a half note first, so that's going to get the 1 and the 2, again, tied together underneath. Then the second note is another half note, so it's going to get the last 2 beats in that measure. 3, 4, tied together. And the way you would clap this, of course, would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy. Okay. The last measure is party. Check it out. All 4 beats are together on the whole note. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath that one note, all tied together with a long tie. And then you just clap it 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy, really. Okay. Clap the whole line. Ready, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you need to go back and practice that again, go right ahead and do it. When you're good at it, go on to line number 2. That's measure 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see the time signature is a little different here. We have a C at the very beginning. C stands for common time. It's just another way of writing 4/4. 4/4 is the most common time signature. So C is just a different way to do it. And I wrote that way on purpose so that you could kind of see both ways that you do it. You do see both of them in music. Okay? Now, on the very first note of number 5, you'll see there's a dotted half note. Dotted half notes, of course, get 3 beats. Okay, so on this one, you're going to have underneath it the 1, the 2, and the 3 all tied together. And then the quarter note at the end, the 4, is all by himself, so just 4 there. And the way you clap this, of course, would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, do the second measure. The second measure should be 1 all by itself on the quarter note, and then 2, 3, 4 on the dotted half note, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do measure 7 and measure 8. You should have in 7, 1 by itself, then 2 by itself, then 3, 4 tied together. Measure 8 should be 1 by itself, and then 2, 3 put together, and then 4 by itself. Okay, do the whole line. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've got that down to 100%, so you can do it every time, go on to the next line. Okay, the third line, 9, 10, 11, 12, is in 5/4. You can see there's 5 beats in a measure. Okay, we start mixing it up here a little bit. Go ahead, pause this for just a minute, and write in all of that line, 9, 10, 11, 12. Go ahead and write it in. Pause. Okay, when you're done with that, check your work. Number 9, we should have 1, 2 on the first half note, then 3, 4 on the second half note, and then 5 all by itself. Number 10, we have 1, and then 2, 3, 4 put together with a tie, and then 5 all by itself. 11, we have 1 by itself, and 2 by itself, and then 3, 4 tied together, and then 5. Number 12, we have 1 all by itself, and then 2, 3, 4 put together, and then 5. Okay, go back and correct any of those you need to. Pause for a sec if you need to. And then count and clap number 9, please. Number 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way through. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now, just like with training wheels when you're learning to ride a bike, you don't want to use the training wheels forever. You want to learn how to ride the bike, of course, but then after you really do know how to ride the bike, the training wheels kind of get in the way. You don't need to use them all the time. In fact, it kind of becomes detrimental if you use them all the time. If you've ever tried to ride somebody's bike that has training wheels after you don't need training wheels anymore, it's pretty awkward. It doesn't work too well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try to take the training wheels off. If you don't need to, don't write in these next couple of lines. Now, I'm going to count and clap them. If you find that you're having a lot of trouble figuring out what beats go where, then certainly go ahead, pause, write them in, and then you can check your work if you need to. Okay. I will show you what at the end of this video, I'll put up the different lines so you can see what the counting and clapping, what the writing is. That's fine if you can do it. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take one line at a time and try to count them and clap them without writing them in. Okay. So see if you can do that. 13, we're going to start in 13, 14, 15, 16. You'll notice that that's 6/4, 6 beats in a measure now. Okay, right? So we're getting to 6. We're counting to 6. Be careful. Pause for just 1 minute, practice it. 13, 14, 15, 16. And then we'll come back and do it. Okay, here we go. 13. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you need to go back and do that again, go right ahead. Practicing is not once, practicing is a whole bunch of times. Okay, line 17, 17, 18, 19, 20. Again, pause for a minute if you need to, and go ahead through and practice it. This one's, by the way, 7/4, right? Yep. Okay, here we go. 17, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we're going to do line 21 all the way to the end of the page. 21, 22, 23, 24. These are in 8 beats per measure. Take a minute, look through it if you need to, pause. Okay, 21 to the end of the page. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If any of those last couple lines were confusing, I will show you what the writing in is like here. Okay, I'll put this down. You can check your work. You can correct it. You can go back and do it again. Do not try to go on to the second page of level 1 until you can really do level 1, the first page.